Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified every time we go live or post a video. I'm here today to talk about my NASCAR Heat 5 wish list for career mode. And I'll have a part 2 coming out with online, but I figured part 1 should be about career because a lot of things I talk about in this video, I'm also going to kind of want those little things, hopefully, expect them to be added to online too. One thing I would like to see in future games is adding series like the Wheel of Modified Tour, or I'd say K&M, but it's now the ARCA. So now ARCA is part of NASCAR. I'd like to see ARCA or ARCA East or something like that added with all the short tracks and stuff they go to. But definitely, I think the Wheel of Modifieds are one of my top priorities. I love the Wheel of Modifieds in the EA days. They're so much fun to drive. I really think that is one class they should add to this game. Cautions. This goes for a couple little things about cautions. The old games had caution replays. Really want that back into the game. Also about cautions, and this is a big one for me because NASCAR 15 had this, and a lot of the older NASCAR games too, I believe. This is the best part about it. Is the most fun part about it is if a caution happens, if there's cars wrecking in front of you, the caution comes out and freezes your car, and every car that was involved in the wreck that you did not pass yet when the AI took control of your car still get to start in front of you. So if there's like 5 cars involved in a wreck and I'm still behind it when the caution comes out, they start in front of me and they don't get penalized and go to the back. Even older NASCAR games had the part where if you were in the wreck, you automatically started in the back. Anybody involved in a wreck goes to the back. Plus, and this is where I'm getting at with this, is for cautions, please, for the love of God, let us control the car for about at least 10 seconds. I really miss being able to dodge the wrecks and try to drive through them so much like the EA days. It was a lot of fun trying to dodge everything and trying to get through a wreck without getting involved in it. In career mode now, when you create your own car and have your own custom paint scheme for career, you get to do that. I like that. I wish the paint booth was a little bigger. Now, as much as I would love to have a full-blown custom paint booth like NASCAR 09 where you can create it on a computer, put it in the game, or even NASCAR, the Utechnics game, NASCAR 15, all them, the paint booth in that was really good. I thought was really, really good in that. I know this NASCAR Heat does not have the paint booth like that. It doesn't mean it's a complete deal breaker as long. Now hear me out on this. I know a lot of people want paint booth. I love a paint booth as well. But with what you have now, there's definitely ways to make that way better to where people don't complain as much, because so many people complain about the paint booth and I don't blame them. It's so much fun. Like the GT Sport, you can go crazy with that and create any possible paint scheme you want to. I can deal with this paint booth if they have at least like 50 different paint scheme templates. Learn how to speak. Templates. At least 50 different custom templates. At least. And not only just, cool looking designs for templates. If they can throw like actual driver's paint scheme templates in there that we can just put our own number on, I think that would be pretty cool. Or even throwback schemes that we can run, make our own custom throwback for like our Darlington race or something. Something like that. And plus having every option possible, like not only number color but number outline, sponsor color, more sponsor options, more like different colors than what they have. Obviously, spoiler, completely color the rims any color you want, just like the body of the car, any color. This goes for also rookie stripe. When you're in career mode and you're a rookie in a series, you should be able to have the rookie stripe on the car, and it comes off after the season's over. Stuff like that is a big, even though it's little, some things are little, but that's a huge step to make it feel realistic and make it feel like you're actually part of something going in the racing series that you're in. Rookie stripes are a big key to that. And Dirt Series is obviously still in the game and probably still will be. So I have a couple little things for the Dirt Series. Obviously, I would rather focus on everything else first, or at least like getting the game, the physics, and everything else good. But my ideas for Dirt Series is have more dirt races at night. Put more tracks at night. A lot of dirt races are run at night. I don't mind having the day races. I think every track should have a day and night option, especially like Dreeben and Taggart and the fantasy tracks. The ones you run twice, I kind of wish they had a day and a night race. Taggart would be a great night track with the carnival outside the track. That would be a great track to run at night. That would be a nice to see the lights outside there at the carnival. Add more dirt tracks. Even if you don't put the dirt tracks in right away, I and I'm sure some other people wouldn't mind if they really are into it. If they're not, they don't have to be. They don't have to do it. But if you are into the, having to pay for a DLC, like a track DLC or something, like add 3-4 tracks in a DLC in the future if you have to. If you don't want to put them in right away, I still would like to see that. I'm getting kind of bored of the same tracks that we have already. I would like to see more tracks added, more either real tracks like Knoxville or Williams Grove or stuff like that, or Volusia, or even a couple fantasy tracks. And actually, speaking of fantasy tracks, it's kind of off topic of the dirt, but even for like pavement tracks, I would love to see fantasy tracks back in. Even like I said, if it's not in the game right away, even a DLC with fantasy tracks. If people want to download a DLC with fantasy tracks, have that option. I would pay for that. I miss the uniqueness in the fantasy tracks in the older NASCAR Thunder games. It was good stuff. Plus, more with the dirt. If you're going to keep dirt in, I would rather have a non-playoff system for the dirt series and career and stuff. I don't like the playoff system for dirt. And I think each track should really rubber up throughout the race, and you really have to change lines throughout the race. And plus, I wish the dirt, they would add heat races in. And with everything I say, at least give options to turn heat races on or no. Give people option if they want to pay for the DLC for the fantasy tracks, let them. If they don't have to worry about it, and that way everybody's happy. You don't have to have it if you don't want it, but if you do want it, let everybody, make that option. And because I would like to see the fantasy tracks. I always enjoy driving a bunch of different tracks. Even and not only fantasy tracks, if you want to add like old tracks like IRP or Milwaukee Mile or Nazareth, stuff like they used to add in the games, like there were real tracks, they just threw them in there that they even though they didn't run on them anymore. That's also a great option to me. I would love to see and love to run on tracks like North Wilkesboro or Rockingham. If you can somehow get an older track into the game as a fantasy track, that would be awesome as well. That brings me to my next point that I wanted to talk about with career mode, is being able to choose beforehand, or being able to choose a partial schedule, not just enter in the series and then simulate races. You should be able to actually choose the tracks you want to run before the season, or being able to skip the race as you go along instead of simulate, because it doesn't feel realistic when I want to just run 2 races in the Truck Series, and mostly it's Eldora and Canadian Tire because I love Canadian Tire, and I want to run Eldora because it's unique, stuff like that. But in order to do that, I have to hit, Truck Series. I have to hit drop. I have to hit, like, I'm gonna run the Truck Series, but I have to I'm gonna simulate every other race that I don't want to run, which I'm getting money for. So anybody could just simulate through the races and get money for them. I don't think anybody could do that for so long just to get money. I'd rather have a skip option instead of simulate. That way you don't actually earn the money for it if you're not racing. Plus, if you simulate it, it counts towards your stats, even though you didn't run it. I don't like that part about it. I wish when you simulate a race, it doesn't count towards your stats, because it looks, obviously, simulation, sometimes you're getting bad results and it's showing on your stats even though you didn't run it. So I'd rather have a skip option rather than the simulate. Or just being, like I said, being able to choose ahead of time at the season start which races you want to run. If you want to run a partial schedule, a full schedule, a partial schedule, or don't run at all. And if you hit partial schedule, it should give you the option of which races you want to run, and you pick ahead of time, and then go from there. Being able to hire drivers for your team, so being able to expand to a multi-car team, so you can drive for your own team and hire other drivers, kind of like Tony Stewart did when he kind of got his own team. And he drove for his team and had other drivers driving for him as well. Multi-car teams would be much more fun to be able to manage, and it comes out of your money as well that you earn. Since you're the team owner, you put money into the other cars as well as your own. So, it really makes it worth earning every dollar possible that you can earn in the career mode. And when you hire a driver, you should be able to name your driver you're hiring. You should be able to name it. So, just like you name yourself when you start the career mode, you put your name in, whatever. You should be able to put the name in for the driver you hire as well, because I think that'd be more fun. You can have the uniqueness of you being able to name your own team driver, so you can put your father, your family members in, and then you can go out on the racetrack and almost like you're competing with your family. I think that'd be pretty fun. You can put whoever you want in, your friends. You can I think it'd be better if you customize your own driver name, the one you hire. So I think that'd be pretty cool. And plus being able to see your team driver stats as well as your own, so you'd be able to see how the car is doing. Even if you you own a team from a lower series, you don't drive for the series, but you want to own a team for them, that should be, and you should still go back and see the stats that your driver is doing. So for whatever series, if you don't want to compete in a series but you want to own a team, they should let you do that, even if you don't want to drive it, and have confidence that can happen. It shouldn't be that hard to put that into the game. Now, penalties. Penalties is another thing they really, really need to get right, because if you speed on pit road, they just give you 15 seconds extra in the pit box. I don't like that. It's been 4 games and they can't get a drive-through penalty right. Put all the legit penalties in. If you pass below the yellow line, you should be able to get, or have to give the spot back within a certain time. If not, drive-through penalty. Drive-through penalty. If you speed on pit road, drive-through penalty. What else? If you change lanes on a restart before the start-finish line, that's also, I believe, a drive-through penalty. Just all the penalties I really, really wish they would throw into the game right. Like the speeding on pit road thing is a big deal, because And this is coming from somebody who speeds at pit road a lot. I know a drive-through penalty hurts worse than a 15-second add-on onto the pit stop, because I remember days in NASCAR 15 where I sped on the pit road and I come back for the drive-through, because they actually had drive-through penalties back then. I came back in for a drive-through and I sped again. So that would really make it interesting and really make you not want to speed. Not that you want to speed anyway, but drive-through penalties are definitely more intense because you have a chance to speed on pit road while you're trying to go through and serve your penalty, so you can have a double speeding penalty, and that would really throw people's races off. But that's the way it really is. So they really need to add that one in. That's a big bonus for me, a big plus that they need to get fixed, because I really would like the drive-through penalties in this game. DNQs would definitely be. I know DNFs. I did see that they are adding that in. Thank God. But DNQs would be awesome, especially when you add the duels in for Daytona. Being able to race your way into the Daytona 500 would be awesome. So DNQs would be something for a future, even for every race, but definitely for Daytona, you should be able to have to race your way in when you're an underfunded team. That would be pretty cool to add DNQs in. Have drivers in the Xfinity Series, and this goes with NASCAR Thunder 2004, had retirements. Drivers retired, the fantasy drivers and drivers from Xfinity were able to move up to the Cup Series and take over that ride. Please bring back retirements, and drivers move drivers up from the lower series, and then have new names take over their rides and stuff like that. That would be pretty cool. I already talked about Rookie Stripe when we're talking about career mode and moving up and stuff like that. For this is just a small thing, but this would be pretty neat. Is limited sets of tires per race. Like, I know a lot of series right now have a limited sets of tires that they have to put on the car, so they kind of have to play accordingly to when they want to put the tires on. So they only have a limited set. So if you have a lot of cautions, you keep coming down pit road, you using up sets of tires. If they had an option where you can limit sets of tires per race like real life, imagine how interesting the strategies would be then. Like, do I take tires now or should I save the last set for later? Stuff like interviewing, have little interviews, like somebody come up to you, interview you, and you pick a couple answers, whichever way you want to answer it. Have like an interview after qualifying or stuff like that, and it affects your status as a driver, like your fan or uniqueness as a driver and stuff like that. It affects you, whatever you answer. It gives you options to answer. You answer it a certain way, like aggressive or stuff like that. The rival system in the older games were great. I loved that's right, I don't even have that on this list, talking about the rival system. I love the rival system. However, they definitely need to tweak it. The older NASCAR Thunder games, I love that, because as frustrating as it was when you're racing and you got a rival, like a heavy rival, they just flat out took you out, and that was it. But once they took you out, it was pretty much like it was, the beef was over. Whereas in now, you get somebody angry at you, to just keep driving into you every single race, and it does not go away. Even if they drive into you, when you're going by them on the outside, they put you in the wall and then end up wrecking or something because they started it, and they get mad at you and send you a mean tweet, and it constantly keeps you in the same way. It just constantly gets worse and worse. It doesn't get better. If they're going to wreck me, let them wreck me. If I wreck them, okay, they come back and wreck me, beef settled, we're back to square one. And it should completely reset after they wreck you and take you out, and they realize that. Like, NASCAR Thunder and all those games had that down pretty well, because I remember getting taken out in lap 1. And this also, they should have better victory lane celebrations, add more to it, and I think it would be a good thing to show every victory lane celebration, and you can obviously skip it if you want to, have the option to skip it. That way there are people If they don't want to watch it, they could skip it. If they do want to watch it, they can. I think they should show every celebration regardless who wins. So even if an AI wins, they should show that AI driver in victory lane, and then have different celebrations. Even have maybe like NFL Madden has touchdown celebrations you can choose after you score. Have us choose different celebrations. Like when you set up your driver, choose a victory celebration, and you can change it every once in a while if you want, or you can do your celebration, like Carl Edwards backflip and stuff like that. You choose your celebration and have that be your unique style, and being able to show that in victory lane every single time instead of the same thing over and over again. Like, it's just boring. It doesn't even show the car driving into victory lane like the old NASCAR Thunder games. At least that. Something else other than, they haven't really ever touched the victory lane celebration at all since the start of the Heat games. They really need to make that better. And that goes for in general, looking at all the pre-race, post-race, show the national anthem, have broadcasters in the booth, being able to hear the broadcasting in the background at the track, add the starting lineup to the cars, and being able to go through the entire starting lineup. If you want to skip it, add the option to skip it. If you want to watch it, like for certain people that want to stream, might want to make it seem like a realistic race, they go through the entire starting lineup, show the cars lined up on pit road, saying the gentlemen start your engines, had the flyby or the fireworks like EA. Those pre-race things were so cool, and implement that into the career mode where they actually talk about you and know your story and know what you did last race and talk about that. All kinds of stuff they can add to it. A lot of people love the presentation. For those who don't, give the option to skip it so everyone's happy. I'd love to see the cars rolling off pit road. Like I said already, announcers knowing what's been going on throughout the season about each driver that they mention. They have the storylines, which is great, but I wish they actually talked about it instead of just showing you. Having them talk about it would be a big step up. Show them rolling out on the pit road, rolling the cars down pit road to line them up, all kinds of stuff like that. And in NASCAR Thunder 2004, you can even hear the announcing in the background. When you're on pit road, you can actually hear the announcer at the track, like off in a distance, broadcasting the pit stop. It's really cool. That is a real cool feature that I wish they would add into these games. A practice ticker or a leaderboard compared to other drivers. So NASCAR 15, I remember when you were out there practicing, you were able to see what spot you were compared to the AI. Like if you were 27th, you'd be able to see what spot you are live with the AI. You can't see that at all. You only see your times. You don't know what you're running compared to them at all. You don't know what spot you're in practice. They really need to add that. Couple more quick little things. Have multiple legend drivers like they did back in the day. They had Earnhardt. They had Richard Petty. They had all kinds of different drivers. Like adds older drivers like Alan Kulwicki and Fireball Roberts and Richard Petty again and Dale Earnhardt. All older drivers on top of having multiple paint schemes. A bunch of legend drivers, not just one legend driver a year that they choose. I think they should have multiple legend drivers, even if they had a DLC pack to add that. Also, an idea for, let us be able to choose an option to be able to run the old point system, the Chase for the Cup point system, as well as the playoff system that they run now. So if you can have the option that we can choose which point system we want to run, that would be a good thing to add. I know this is a bit far, but instead of going to the race, you know how you choose you're running a Cup Series, you go to practice, qualify, and race, and then you go to the Truck Series, you go practice, qualify, race. If you're running all series at the same track in the same weekend, I really think it would be cool to add, like, it's actually a weekend there. Like, you do a practice session for Xfinity, then you do a practice session for Cup, and then a practice session for Trucks, and then you qualify for Xfinity, and then you have another happy hour for Cup, and then you qualify for Cup. Like, do it in the order of the entire weekend, not just series. that would be another thing to add. And the final thing I think that I'm going to talk about real quick. This has been a long video. I'm sorry. I'm hoping I'm not boring you, but I'm trying to just think of a bunch of different things. I'm trying to get things out there that they can hopefully look at and add in the future games. But please, I should have said this earlier, but please, this bothers me probably more than anything, is when you're in career mode and you're running, you know how they run, how a lot of tracks have the triple header of Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup, but they never seem to line up in the calendar. I don't know why it's so hard to line up Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup at the same track in the same week. How can we go to the Cup Series, run Richmond, and then 3 weeks later we're running the Xfinity Series at Richmond? It's just I can't stand how it's all messed up. How can you not sync that better? This is an example because view it by month. They should have the view it by month, not by week. And because I remember running a Truck Series, like Xfinity weekend at Iowa, and then I raced Iowa for the Trucks 2 weeks later, or vice versa. It doesn't make sense. They run together, so let us run it together. So that's all I could think of at the top of my head right now. I'm sure there's more things. I know there's more things because I've seen some things that I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, but I forgot to add it to my list. So they're long gone in my head until I see them again. So that's all I got for you right now, though. Hopefully you enjoyed. Please subscribe, comment. If you have any more ideas to add to the NASCAR Heat and future games, trying to think of more things, but that's all I got for right now. Like I said, please subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified whenever we go live. I live stream a lot. I'll try to post more wishlist videos and stuff. I'm doing this a little late, so I kind of rushed it along. I know it's not the best editing video probably, but I know it's really running late. They already announced the game. I should have done this like at the end of the year last year, but I know it's a little late again, but I'm just to get ideas out. That's why I said for not just for NASCAR Heat 5, but for future NASCAR games as well, is just get ideas out there that they can constantly look at, constantly try to add to the game as it goes on. So I tried. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you like all the ideas that I have. Definitely feel free to add more things in the comments and tell me what you think, because I'd love to see more ideas. I love looking at everybody else's videos and coming up with ideas and realizing ideas that I never even thought of. And that will do it for the rest of this video. So thanks for watching. I have part 2, focus on online portion of Wishlist for this video coming out very, very soon. So hit the like and subscribe button and you'll be able to see when we release that video. Until then, thanks for watching. So long, everybody.